Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is a breakdown. This is a breakdown on a EU trade that I actually took yesterday, which was the 7th of was it? No, 8th, sorry, 8th of November yesterday. Yeah, I actually took, as you can see, 19R out of this. I only risked like 0.25% for this trade. I took partials to start, and then I actually took after the impulse, I just closed it just to stop any emotion getting involved. But I took around about 5k out of it thereabouts. And looking back at it now, seeing where there was a perfect second entry, but I'm going to go over it anyway. I mean, this is the 1 minute, as you can see, and it did go higher. EU is currently sinking back into a discount area, ready to hopefully buy again. But if you did see my EU trend change video, which I'll put up in the corner, I actually said kind of roughly where we've been heading. I roughly said kind of that was going to happen. So it's definitely worth watching the videos in future. I mean, like every trader, you're never going to get everything right, but luckily enough, this kind of went into the zones that I wanted it to. So I knew we were kind of having some strong impulse to the buy side, like to the upside. So I was looking for longs. So anyway, enough of me waffling. Let's jump back to. Let's get rid of some of this actually. Let's replay. Right, let's just replay. Right, okay. So now you see on the daily. In fact, we'll jump on the 4 hour because the 4 hour was actually the one that I did the video on, the EU trend change video. So yeah, as you can see, so I said that it would tap into this area. I was hoping it'd tap into this refined area, but it didn't. It tapped into the overall order block, and then it took this 4 hour trend line out. So as soon as it took that trend line out, I know we were still buying. So we took that out, and then we moved to the upside. So anyway, as you can see, look how small this it's a 44. If you got in on both entries, it's a 44, an opportunity for 44R, and it looks tiny on the 4 hour. So anyway, yeah, we're looking for buys. So drop down to the 1 hour. And what I had up for this trade, I don't always use it on every trade, but I had the Asian range up. As you can see, this box is the Asian range. So I was hoping to take out the sell side liquidity and then take out the buy side liquidity. And initially, I was hoping to take partials at the top, basically at the top of the Asian range. But I went on a dog walk and I had my TP. I didn't have a TP set, which is good, especially in this case, because it shot up after. So yeah, so there's the 1 hour. We've actually broke two nice wicks, so we've impulsed past them. So obviously start with that was the last candle before, that was the extreme candle before the breakage. We dropped down to the 10 minute. Right, and as you can see, you've got the Asian range there, and we've refined this demand area. Should be red, really. Where are we? Right, that's the demand area. Let's move me over there. So that's the refined area. So we kind of wanted it to dip into that. We'd already took the sell side liquidity, but we're then causing a bit more liquidity, and we wanted to take the lows out. So that would become a sweep. So we drop down to the 1 minute then. You could try and refine it if you want. But like for entries, I like to kind of keep a 10-minute order block really. So we're waiting for the sweep, so let's go to 3. So, well, we've took the sweep, and then we want to see some buy. We swept it again, and then we wicked there, and that's actually where I entered. Was once that wick had happened, I entered there and just covered the bottom of the wick, which actually covered 50% of the order block. And this is a 4.6 pip trade, and initially I was aiming to take out the highs, but as you can see, well, as you will see, sorry, if we play price forward, I'll show you where you could have got a second entry as well. I've disappeared, but there I am. Let me move me back over there. So we go straight to the upside. We start breaking breaks of structure. We create a bit of an order block there. I'll remove that for a minute. I'm going to put everyone off. And as you can see, it shoots into profit very nicely. I did have a couple of small losses before this, trying to get in early, but then after I actually refined it and had a proper look at it, I managed to get this entry. So let's speed it up a little bit. So we've broke structure, we're actually at break even now. Right, so this second entry area, if we drop back for the, hopefully it's easy enough to follow. Obviously, we know we're in the impulse zone, so we're not gonna take out all the imbalance because we're actually in the impulse zone. Obviously, if you're in the retracement, then you start taking imbalance, driving up, imbalance, driving up. But the impulse area, that is literally, well, the banks, the big boys basically. So they shoot up and they leave the imbalance to retrace later on. So if we jump on, say the 5 minutes, quite a nice break of structure there. So the top of this, that was the impulse down. Well, there's actually a couple of impulses down. So this was the last 5 minute impulse down. That gets broke. This next level, that gets broke. So from the bottom to the top, after it starts retracing, you want to obviously get into the discount area. So as you can see, in the discount area, the best place I see is we've got a little bit of imbalance there. So I'd marked that area. That's the wick. That is a lower order block. And then we drop down to the 1 minute to try and refine it. So where are we? Right. So overall, them 2 candles was the final kind of push, final push down before we tapped up. Set your long position on there. Cover the low. That's a 3.5. Well, yeah, 3.5 pip stop loss, and then you can aim. Well, don't have a TP. I didn't have TPs on these. We'll zoom out again, and we'll make it go a little bit faster this time. In fact, I'll tell you what. I know I keep disappearing, but I don't know why this doesn't like me moving on. We'll go to the 10 minute. So we're buying because we're on the impulse. We've tapped into the refined hour order block, demand block, that took out three breaks of structure, three wicks. So there's a lot of pressure down here. So we refined it, and then we managed to get in after we'd tapped the 50% of the order block. You could have actually set a long position on the 50% mark, and you still would have been tapped in, and then just cover the low. But because the candle that we had, and I normally don't trade on candles, but it was a perfect example. It was a hammer and it tapped into the center of the refined order block, which for me is good enough for an entry. And obviously this was in the morning, so I wanted to take out the lows of Asia and then the highs of Asia. So I was expecting price, and if you see my story on Instagram, I showed the trade that I had on, and I put a poll on of who kind of agreed it would take out, and most of you actually agreed that we were going to take out the high. And obviously, as you can see, look at that, beautiful. So I'd come back from a dog walk, and from the entry at what, 9 o'clock thereabouts, from 9 o'clock to about 3 o'clock, I managed to get my 19R. So like I say, I only risked 0.25%. If that was a 1% risk, then that would be a 19% risk in 6 hours. And if you actually had the second entry as well, which I just showed you how we refined it, and obviously we're looking for buys anyway, that would give you a 21, 22 if you took it. See, I basically, when I looked at my phone, I seen it shut up, and I just took it. I closed it. I was very happy with the profit. Very happy. Great day. Obviously, I only got the first trade. It'd be ridiculous if you got the second as well, which is definitely doable. And after going back on it now, I see where I could have got in, but I think I was busy, to be fair. I think I was out and about, but that's where you can get in. And yeah, I decided just to close it and took the profit, and it dropped down a little bit, and it actually shot up, and there was a trend line that I was kind of hoping it would take out, and it actually did take it out in the end. So if I zoom on the 1 hour, so the trend line that I wanted to take out, so all these retail sellers, was actually that. And as you can see, we wicked it, so I took it at the trend line, and I was expecting it to kind of go through eventually, but I was happy with the profit, and I didn't want to risk losing any. And my aim was to take out the highs of the Asian range, and we smashed through that. So as you can see, we actually wicked off the trend line, and then we kept going up. So yeah, that's how you could have got what's that? Well, yeah, 22, and so 41. That's how you could have got a 41 or on two positions. Hopefully some of you caught at least the first position, or at least took some profit out of the Asian range. But that's what you can look for in future, and hopefully this video helps. If you can like and subscribe, that'd be great. I'll start doing more and more content, more and more trade breakdowns. And obviously if you drop me a follow at the Rule of 7 on Instagram, and drop any comments if you want anything to kind of anything in particular. But yeah, right, I'm over and out.